struggles and conflicts between South Asian countries. The economy in South Asian countries has been in somewhat of a slump. Let's head over to Poverty with Marnie to get a closer look into this financial difficulty.
Thank you, Grace. According to the 2006 estimate, the population in India has reached 1,095,000,000 people. Of those citizens, 25% of them live below the poverty line. The poor live in rural areas of labor zones, only making about 40 cents a day. Here's three suggested causes of poverty. The first Prime Minister of independent India noted how parts of India which have been longest under British rule are the poorest today. British purposely deindustrialized India with high taxes and tariffs. Others suggest poverty is caused by lack of poverty rights. India is making a slow but steady climb out of poverty. In Bangladesh, the population is about 147 million people. 45% of them live below the poverty line. Bangladesh suffers from natural disasters, unemployment, population growth, and limited resources. Cyclones and floods destroy food crops, homes, and livelihoods. The country is slowly coming out of poverty with help from volunteer organizations. As for Pakistan, the population is 165 million, with 24% of India living below the poverty line. Poor working conditions, low wages, and lack of job security adds to overall poverty. Thank you. And back to you.
Thank you, Marnie, for that uplifting and enriching segment. And now we'll take you back in time to 1989, where we were live with war correspondent Matt Satowko.
I've just arrived in the year of 1989, Afghanistan, where we just had word of the Soviet-Afghan War. This war is fought by the Soviet Union and the anti-communist guerrillas of Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, there are two groups, the Khalq, who supports the Soviet communists, versus the Parcham, a religious group who wanted to get rid of communism. The Soviet troops entered Afghanistan because of the rivalry between the Khalq and the Parcham. Then the great leader, my great friend, Hafizullah Amin of the Khalq, was killed. Immediately, the Soviets put Babur Karmal in charge. This frustrated most of the Afghans. And some will ask, what was another reason for the Soviets invading? Well, my friends, I'll tell ya, the Soviets wanted to frustrate the United States of America. However, the United States immediately responded by a plan called the Muhadar. USSR could eventually not keep up, and they signed the Geneva Accord. This was an agreement that the last Soviet soldier would be out by February 15, 1989.
My condolences, Matt. This just in, we have breaking news. Becky Wisniewski is hovering over the border between India and Pakistan. We take you now across the Atlantic and Indian Ocean.
Thank you, Grace. This ongoing conflict between India and Pakistan is worsening as we speak. They've been fighting over the Kashmir region since 1947 and have yet to settle an agreement and remain at peace. Pakistan was not pleased with the result of the partition in 1947. India was given 2/3 of the Kashmir region and Pakistan only received 1. After a war in 1949, India and Pakistan signed the Karachi Agreement. This treaty established a ceasefire line in Kashmir. This ceasefire line was illegally crossed several times and caused the dispute to worsen. As a result, 2 wars were fought in 1965 over the Himalayan territory and in 1971 between East and West Pakistan. The Simla Agreement was signed in 1972 and defined a line of control in Kashmir. Although there have been no recent battles since 1971, there is still an atmosphere filled with a lack of trust towards other countries and constant clashes at the border of India and Pakistan. In 2006, explosions took place in the Mumbai train, and India accused Pakistan for this incident. This accusation caused all existing peace between these two countries to deteriorate. Although these two nations are united by history, they are divided by destiny. India and Pakistan have been disputing for 5 decades and have failed to recognize their full economic and geopolitical potential, causing both countries to suffer from poverty. These conflicts over Kashmir and the constant accusations will not be resolved easily, but hopefully in a few years, India and Pakistan's destiny will become united. Back to you, Grace.
Best of luck to India and Pakistan. For our next topic, Afghanistan. This Middle Eastern country has had its fair share of trouble. When the Taliban first came to power in 1994, it seemed like the strict rulers would help keep the country united. Shortly after, their government's extreme interpretations of Islamic views began unsettling the people. Women in particular suffered a loss of rights under the Taliban. Their sometimes harsh regime was brought to an end when the United States began a bombing campaign because the Taliban refused to stop harboring international terrorists. In 2001, Afghanistan finally made its way out of Taliban's rule and formed their own free government. While the return to daily life has been slow, the country is making progress towards peace.